Hey guys, welcome back.
Oh my gosh, hi! Maggie asked why I'm
Hi.
in such a good mood. Someone asked me.
Well, I guess that falls on me. Why are you in such a good mood?
We just found the most beautiful rental home in Colorado Springs, and we are going to be moving.
Oh my god, who's jealous? I'm
Ah, are
jealous.
you jealous?
I'm
Are you
so
jealous?
jealous.
Maggie's already picking out all the decor that she wants in her personal room for when she comes to visit. Hashtag
Yeah,
or like kind of like live there, Just whenever you want to be there, you can be there.
Maggie's gonna move. Maggie's
She is.
moving
Maggie's
without
moving.
officially moving because
Yeah.
I'm not moving. I will. That's like the thing. Like if I was told I had to move, I would just leave everything except for my family and my animals and just be like, I'll just buy new stuff.
You're like, I'm starting over. Packing is too much.
Yes.
Packing is too much.
Oh my gosh. I have so much junk. So, from the time that we're recording this, which is right near the time that they're going to hear it, to the time that you move, how much time is left?
Not that much time because we take we take ownership of the house on August 1st and it's currently July 26th. So, yeah, it's going to be real quick.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So, do you have to be there like on Monday?
No, we told them we'll be there sometime in the first week of August. We don't know
Okay.
when. But yeah, we'll be there ASAP. My husband's already like called on the pod company or like not called, but he like went on their website and they're like, "Oh, we can't give you an estimate until you call." And he's like, "I'm not doing that." And I'm like, "I guess I am." So,
That's me.
after this
He's me. I'd be like, "Oh no, I guess we can't get a pod. Oh
so
no, that's a shame."
yeah, you know how like you and I play on our strengths, and I know that
Yeah.
you and Sean do the same thing. So Joe and I do that as well. He hates making calls.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, and that's how we got this house. And because this house was not even up for rent. Okay guys, here's a little story about how you're going to use leveraging in your business and how you can also use it in other parts of your life. Are you ready? Listen up. So this house was not even for rent. The realtor had a different house for rent, which ended up being rented, and we didn't really want it. But then he said, I might have another house for rent. It's currently for sale. And I'm like, great, send me the listing. It's fucking beautiful. It's perfect. It's everything we could ever want and more. And I'm just like, okay, so how am I going to get this house? Because I'm like, I'm going to have this house. It's not like a question. So I told him, I'm like, we really do like the house, but we have a lot of showings this week. So, I mean, when are you going to be able to talk to the owners? He's like, I'll call right now. And they're like, we would prefer to sell it, but we will rent it for this price. And I'm telling you that they are so undercharging for rent. I hope that they never hear this podcast. They won't. It's fine. They are,
Unless they Google you.
unless they Google me, it's fine. But so they're super undercharging for rent. It should have easily gone for $400 more per month than what they're charging. But I'm like, play it cool, play it cool. I'm just like, oh yeah, like I would be interested in touring it for that price. Like in the back of my head, I'm like, I want it right now. So toured it virtually. It's just as beautiful as it looked like in pictures. And told the realtor, I'm like, yep, we want it. Send the application. And we got it. So I acted like, I don't really care. And, this does work. Like the whole be unattached to the outcome, it does work. There was another house my husband and I really wanted, really, really wanted. I was so eager. I told them on the phone, I'm like, I want this house. Like, what do I have to do? We got passed over. We got an email saying like you were second in line, like based off like there was somebody else that's more qualified. And I'm like, I don't know who is more qualified than a fucking 760 credit score. Both my husband and I have a 7. I have a 758. He has a 760 credit score and make more than enough income. They must not have had dogs, which means that I don't like them anyway. It's fine. They can have the house. But anyway, what I'm saying
I hope
is
their roof caves in.
I hope that it's fine. So anyway,
Well, actually, you got
don't
something better anyway, so it doesn't
I
matter.
did get a house that was way better, and it's only $150 per month more than that other one, and it's so much better, has so much more to offer. And
Yeah.
So anyway, act like you don't really give a shit and they will be running. Like I had this realtor wrapped around my finger. The other house that got rented when we were waiting on the second house, he's just like, "You know what? I'm going to give you first dibs. Like let me know if you want it." Like just wrapped right around my finger.
Yeah.
So the less that you act like you give a shit, the more that they want to be like, "I want you." So
Uh-huh.
it's okay. Like, be excited in the back of your head, but then keep your poker face. Like, act like you always have a lot of options. You're welcome. Fun facts.
Yeah, that's part of sales training in
That's part of
general.
sales training. Yeah,
That works in all aspects of your life
it does. It
because
really
you
does.
always do have a lot of options, even when it doesn't feel like it.
You do. Yep. And that energy is, it's very obvious. It's very, very, very obvious.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited.
Thank
It's
you.
gonna be
Thank you.
such a good move for you.
Thank you. I'm gonna be so extra posting about like, oh my god, I finally gave my dogs the backyard of their dreams. I have been promising Newton that like since we got him, I got him at the beginning of my master's degree. I'm like, Newton, when I graduate, I'm gonna give you a big backyard. And he was probably like, Mom, go fuck yourself. It's been 3 years. But now I'm gonna be like, Newton, look, I gave you the yard I always promised you.
And Newton's gonna be like, I don't understand English. That's gonna be Newton. Newton's gonna be like, oh, I don't know what you're
Oh,
saying because
oh.
I'm a dog.
Throw my ball. Give me a treat.
Right. He's gonna be like, walk, ball, outside. Those are the
Yeah,
English words I know.
those are the English. Okay, let's talk about dogs because you're getting another one this week. Like,
I'm
we do
getting a
need to
new
talk about
dog.
that. We do need to talk about that.
I mean, it's a new used dog, but like
You are not allowed to call your dog a used dog. Oh my gosh, no.
it's new to me. It's like it's a used dog.
My Goodwill dog.
Yeah. No, I didn't get him from Goodwill.
I'm joking.
He is, however, coming from a shelter, but he is a used dog. He is 10 months old. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, I didn't realize he's only 10 months. He really is a puppy.
Yeah, he's a 10-month-old
Oh,
baby.
oh my gosh, he's a little
He's a
baby.
little baby. Yeah, yeah.
Are you more excited about getting this puppy than you were when you found out you were going to be having a human? Or like, let's talk about the things that, people don't talk about. Were you more excited about having a human or this puppy? Tell me, I don't have any.
I was terrified about having babies.
Were you terrified by the second one?
Oh no. By the second one I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Here we go again.
oh, I was like, okay. All right, well, here we are.
Yeah.
That was me on the second one.
Okay.
Because my kids are
Okay.
only 18 months apart.
Right.
So it was like when the second one came about, I knew I was pregnant, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't want to. So I knew I was pregnant, but it was Valentine's Day weekend when it like hit me mentally.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to test because I knew if I tested on Valentine's Day weekend, it's all we would talk about all weekend.
Yeah.
And we're not drinkers. Like we're not we do drink alcohol, but we are not big
It's not pretty.
drinkers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like how we celebrate. It's not how we do
Right.
things.
Right.
Like if we go to a comedy show, I drink. I'll have a drink, but like
Right.
in general, I don't drink. So we weren't going to drink or anything for Valentine's Day, so I didn't feel a need to test. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm just going to wait until after Valentine's Day because I don't want to tell him on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I waited until after Valentine's Day and I tested and it was positive and I was like, wow, what a surprise! This is so surprising. I'm so surprised. And I told him, and he was like, oh, what are we gonna do? I was like, have another baby. I mean, like, what do you mean? What are we gonna do?
Uh-huh.
I was like, however, what we are going to do is you are going to get a vasectomy before this
Uh-huh.
baby is born
Yes.
because I'm not getting pregnant again.
So you knew as soon as you were pregnant with the second, like, this is my last baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I'm never having another baby. Like,
Yeah.
and my mom, who is an awful human being and I hate her, she goes, what if something happens to this baby and he doesn't you don't have a live birth or something, you lose the baby. And I was like, what if I do? Like,
Yeah.
what's your question?
Right.
She's like, are you sure you want Sean to have a vasectomy before the delivery? I was like, yeah, I'm
Right.
100%. I'll, you don't replace babies. Like, that's not how it works.
No, you
It's not
don't
like
just
getting
go
a
get a new
toothbrush.
one.
Right.
Right. Right.
Because she was like, well, won't you want to have another baby then? And I was like, no, if this baby dies, I'm not replacing it.
Right.
Like, you're not just like, oh, this one died. Maybe I'll get a brunette next time. Like,
Right.
no,
It's not like
just
Amazon. Like you can't just put in the order
right.
like send a new one, replacement, you know?
Like, right, defective, replacement.
Right.
Thanks.
Right. Yeah.
Like, no. No, no, no. So he got I was pregnant. I was I was really pregnant. Mason was born in September and Sean got fixed in August. So my hugely
Mhm.
pregnant ass drove him to and from his vasectomy appointment.
Aw.
Oh my God, everybody, look at this amazing decision we've made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean was 20, he was 26 at the time,
Okay.
and I was 22. And we were very responsible, to be honest. 'Cause
Right.
not everybody makes that decision at that age. And no
Yeah.
regrets, man. No regrets.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also vasectomies are reversible. Like we've talked
Yeah.
about my husband getting one and then just being like if I ever, like fall on my head and decide to change my mind and I want babies, then we could reverse it. But as of right now, I feel really good about my decision to be child free. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Everybody can make up their mind on their own, but I don't know about that.
About the deciding not to have them or to deciding
No,
to.
changing your mind and like once you've decided, whatever you decide,
Yeah.
like, and then you decide the opposite. Like, I don't know about that. I feel like once you've
Yeah.
decided, you're pretty sure this
I
probably
think
the decision for
so.
you.
Like, I've had some women tell me, like, oh my God, like, I turned 30 and something happened. I'm just like, well, 28's right around the corner. I'm feeling really good about, like, I'm still in my pajamas and I didn't have to tend to anyone else's needs. And I made me and my husband breakfast at 2 p.m. And I feel really good about the day. Like, that wouldn't have
Right.
been my day if I had children, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm feeling really good. Feeling really good
Like,
about my decision. So
yeah, if I hadn't had kids young, I wouldn't have had them at all.
yeah. Yeah. I
That's just me. Someone else,
my,
like another neurodivergent person, asked me that today.
oh
She asked,
really?
yeah, she was like, because she's a couple years younger than me, just a couple, like she's like 3 years younger than me. And
Yeah.
she asked me about it because she doesn't have any children. And she's like, you
Uh-huh.
have grown children, and I don't have any children.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, either at this age, either I wanted to have grown children or no children. Like, those are the two options to me in my
Does she
40s.
regret not having children?
Not at all.
Oh, okay, so she
Not at
felt good
all.
about it.
She loves it.
That's
But
awesome.
she was like, it's just crazy, because she and I are so similar in age. And she's like, and
Yeah.
you have grown children. I was like, right.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted in my 40s is I either wanted to be with grown children, like to have grown ass kids,
Uh-huh.
or to be child free. Like, I didn't want to be parenting in my 40s.
Right.
I didn't want to have that responsibility. Like, that's for me. Again, I don't give a shit what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Like, I don't care. I don't care what you're doing with your life.
Everyone
My
should do
life,
exactly what they want to do.
yes. But my life,
And
I wanted
yeah.
to enjoy my life 40 on.
Yes.
Like, that is when you really know yourself. You know what's going on in your life. Like, you understand so much more than you do in your 20s and your 30s.
Well,
You
I'm
get
looking
it.
forward to that because
It's really
like
cool.
I'm telling people, I'm just like, you know what? 30 is the new 20. Like, who really has their life together in their 20s? Well, not with this
Nobody.
economy. Let's just talk about that.
Nobody
Um,
has their life together in their 20s, and people in their 30s barely have anything together. It
yeah.
starts to come together around like 37.
So, why did you choose to partner with someone who's 27, by the way? We're going to talk about that. Just don't worry. Segue.
Yeah, it was education based.
Oh, you're
We'll
saying
talk about
it
that.
wasn't about my vast life experiences? That's crazy.
Wild.
I thought I had so much to offer as a 27-year-old. You know what? I'm going to give myself credit. I have been put through some shit that a lot of 27-year-olds don't understand, like how
Correct.
to live life like by yourself since you've been 16 years old, and what to do when your mom dies and your dad just like forgets that you exist and you're close to stripping to pay off bills. Like I love when people be like, wait till the real world hits you. And it would be like some 50-year-old woman that has both of her parents. I'm like, wait till the real fucking world hits you, bitch. Like,
Right. Like, wait till the real world hits you.
I'm just like,
Girl, I've
oh,
been on my own since 18. Like, what
yeah.
are you talking about?
I'm like, I tell people, I'm just like, oh my God, is this what the real world is about? Like, I have a husband who loves me and helps to take care of me. Oh, fuck, this is terrible. Like,
Right.
you're telling me that, like, I don't have to worry about being evicted. There's food on the table. Like, I don't have to get food stamps. This is incredible. If this is what the real world is, no wonder they were warning me about it. This shit's awesome.
Right. You were trying to keep me away from it. I'm on to
Like,
you.
what? I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah. People are so, and it's a generational thing. When
Yeah.
people like boomer on up generation,
Yeah.
when they're
Yeah.
like, just wait. And it's like, sweetheart, I'm about to come for you.
I'm
And I'm
like,
about to throw you on the ground
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know shit you have no, and I'm not saying that everyone's like that. I really am not, but
No.
I moved out at 18.
Yeah.
I never went back to
Yeah.
my mother and father's house. I've never been
Yeah.
back there.
Right.
And it, like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Don't talk to
Yeah.
me. Like, boomers bought houses when they were $40,000.
Boomers bought houses on one full-time income working at a factory,
Right.
and they could raise a whole ass family on it.
And please, you don't
Like,
understand.
when is the real world gonna hit you, bitch? You're sitting there in your lazy boy recliner with your pension.
And they are the first generation to not make the world a better place.
Thank you.
So
So if you're a
don't talk to
boomer,
me about
if
the
you're a
real
boomer
world.
listening to this, we don't really have many boomers listening to this. I looked at
We
the
don't.
analytics.
Yeah, we don't have boomers listening. But if you know a boomer, pass on this message.
Pass
Piss
on the
off.
message. Yeah.
We don't like you.
I have my husband came from a very, very, very conservative family, but I have turned him into a radical liberal, and now every time he sees like a bunch of old men in Corvettes, he's like, "Yep, look at them spending their pension." I'm like, "Babe, I'm so proud of you. You've never been hotter to me."
Right? Like, ah, look at you. You
Oh,
understand.
you're all grown up now.
What's better? What's better, an old man in a Corvette or a Tesla bro?
Okay, so the old man in the Corvette is going to make me more angry simply because growing up, their lives were so much easier. Tesla bros. Okay, so let me think of like who a Tesla bro is. So like, do they have a Tesla because they are conscious of their environment, or do they have a Tesla
No.
because they worship what's that stupid fucking guy's name? And if that's
Elon
the
Musk.
reason, Elon Musk. Like if that's why you have a Tesla, then I also hate you.
Yeah.
Um, so I hate them both. That's my answer.
Yeah. That's what,
My answer
yeah.
is C, A and B, both.
Yeah.
So
I don't like
yeah,
either of them.
yeah. Well, we have been hating on a lot of people for 19 minutes now. Should we talk about
Mm,
things?
that's a mood.
That's a
That's a mood. All right. Yeah,
mood.
let's actually talk about the podcast stuff.
Okay.
So, our topic today is when do you know or how do you know that it's time to start like another business, like a second business,
A second whole
not like
business.
let's throw this shit in the trash and start over, but like let's add on and do
Yeah.
some more stuff. I'm pretty excited to start. Like I'm a serial entrepreneur. Like I do all kinds of things. I have so many things going on all the time. So how do you know that it's time for you to do that? And then the question that Jamie posed is how do you know if you take on a partner, how do you know who to partner with and how do you know it's a good decision, because it might not be. Sometimes you just have to make that mistake. But like in my case, how do you know as a 41-year-old, 40 at the time, how do you know that you want to partner with a child like Jamie? A still
My own taxes, bitch.
a still in diapers 27-year-old.
I just learned how to walk last week. Thank you.
She just learned how to walk. Eats breakfast at 2 p.m. Just kidding, so do I. So do I. But that's, how do you know that you want to partner with somebody who's like at a completely different phase in life
Right.
and business?
Right.
And what would drive a decision like that? So those
Yeah.
are those are the things that we are talking about today. It only took us 20 minutes to get to that. So I don't know.
I'm
It's a
just gonna
pretty long intro.
I'm gonna virtually pass over the microphone to you because you are going to be the best person to speak on this, being an incredibly successful business owner, multiple business owner. So take it
Yeah,
away as far as like
I'm a
all
serial entrepreneur. I get my hands in shit all the time.
all
All the
the
time.
time. All the time. I'm just gonna drop that she grosses nearly $1 million a year because she doesn't drop that a whole lot, and I just want the whole world to know about it. So if this is like the first episode you're listening to, and you're like, why would I listen to this bitch? It's like, she should be charging for this podcast, but she's not because she's nice. So here you go. Here's Maggie's take.
Yeah, I don't charge for podcasts. I don't.
No.
If you do charge for podcasts, I mean, you're kind of gross. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's the first part?
When
You
do
guys, I
you
have ADHD. Don't you
What?
know?
Are you medicated
Did you
today?
know?
You did
I
take it
am. I took
today.
it at 10, so it's been like 5 hours.
It's starting to dwindle off then.
Wait, it's been 6 hours.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to dwindle off then. I would think,
Yeah,
from my perspective, 6 hours in, I'm starting to dwindle off.
yeah.
Anyway, when do you know to take on a second business? Let's start with that one first.
Okay. So let's talk about what it's like to get to that point, right? Like what it's like
Yeah.
to as someone with ADHD, how it feels when you're like, "Oh my god, should I take on a second business?" Our brains are like all the time coming up with amazing ideas. Like all the time thinking like, I don't think anyone's ever thought of this when someone probably has, but you should still investigate it because what if nobody has? So, we're always thinking of amazing ideas. And that's great. You should write it down. However, once you've written it down, you have to go back to that first idea that you're currently working on and finish it. Get it up and get it launched. Because once you're in that creative mode of getting something out there and getting something launched, the new ideas are going to flow to you. They just are because you're of how your brain is working and going and doing things. You're just going to have a flood of ideas. I don't know why. I don't, I didn't go to school for that stuff. I don't know. But it opens up so many things, and you should not work on another business until your first one is on solid ground. You need to have something out there, launched and working, like absolutely converting. You have clients who are happy, your customer experience isn't suffering, like all of those things before you introduce a second business. Now, ideally, you could have multiple offers, you can have, an entire ecosystem, but you need to at least have a solid offer with a solid business. It's cash positive, it's a good solid business before you bring in another business. Now, will your other business be cash positive? Not at first, but you need to have at least your first business on solid ground before you do anything with a second one. And this is
Mhm.
where a lot of ADHD entrepreneurs fall short because we have so many ideas that we get one halfway good, like halfway launched, halfway profitable, And then we get distracted and start offering something else. And we try and tie it into the business somehow because we're like, well, it could be part of that. And it either needs to be its own business or it's meant to be part of a bigger offer, or like there's so many different ways that that's not correct,
Mm-hmm.
that you need to stay focused on that first offer and that first business until it comes to fruition,
Yeah.
and then move on to a second thing. You need to do follow through, which is not an ADHD entrepreneur's greatest strength.
Very true.
It's not our greatest strength. And that's where hiring a coach, hiring someone who's just an accountability, advisor. You could join Jamie's body doubling. Like there's so many different ways to have somebody help you with that, but you need to follow through. You have to get something solid before you move on to a second venture in any way.
100%.
Otherwise, you end up with all these half finished projects all over the place.
Absolutely.
And that sucks as an ADHD entrepreneur.
It really sucks. I won't lie, because we're always looking for that dopamine hit. And what brings a dopamine hit? New things, exciting things. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, once you have already created a program, it's less exciting to figure out how to get it hooked up with your website and to set up the automated emails. I mean, that's not fucking exciting at all. It sucks. It
Mm-hmm.
sucks. And it's the last part of your program typically. So it sucks. I won't lie.
Yeah. And it's going to be all of that though. Like it's going to be, you figure out what you want to sell, but then how do you actually get eyes on it?
Right.
That
Right.
part, some people that's the least enjoyable part for them. Other people, that's their favorite part, is figuring out the marketing. So it's dependent on the type of brain that you have as far as how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people it's the course creation that they love, some people it's the marketing that they love, some people it depends on your business, and then it depends on what you're selling. But either way, you have to finish it. You
Right.
can't just be like, well, I got it all out on paper, I'm just going to move on and get the
Mm-hmm.
next thing out on paper.
Right.
No, 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 no. Write down all the ideas on paper, yes, but then pick one and implement it all the way through to completion.
And don't get stuck in the it's not perfect yet to do it. I mean,
Mm-mm.
with
Yeah.
my course, like Maggie, because you were there when you recorded the entire fucking thing. If you were if a neurotypical were to look at my course, they'd probably think that I spent several months putting the content together, the scripts for all of the videos. I had a rough outline of the entire course while I was sitting at a Panera for an hour before my shift. And I don't even know how long it took me to create the scripts, which obviously coaching will go along with it, but they were really, really brilliant. It was a really brilliant course that came at a time of that hyper creativity that you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it was just deciding when I was going to record it, having the scripts done beforehand, and then recording it. Like, if you have a really great idea and a rough outline, do not get in your own way as far as perfecting it. It's never going to be perfect. Denise Duffield Thomas always talks about having placeholder material or like placeholder courses out, because 99% of the time that placeholder is going to be better. It's going to be just fine.
Yeah. And that's just how that is, especially with the way our brains are.
Yeah.
And if you replace your placeholder stuff later with stuff that's better, people will just be excited.
Right.
But you need to have something out there before you move on to the next thing.
Yes.
You can't just spin your wheels and be like, well, I got this far, I'm going to go on to the second thing, because you're just
Mm-hmm.
going to have a bunch of half-assed businesses out there.
100%.
And you're not that's not entrepreneurship. Those are
No.
hobbies.
Those are hobbies, and they get to be expensive hobbies if you don't get your offer out there.
Yeah, those are
Because
real
that
expensive hobbies.
it ends up being a really expensive hobby. So if you are not following through, if you have had your idea for a business for like I want to say like at least 3 months you've been thinking about it, you have ideas, but you've not implemented anything. Like, don't even fucking kid yourself. At the very least, you need an accountability buddy. At the most, you need a business coach.
Mhm.
Period.
Yep. I agree 100%. And I mean, you can really get to the bottom of what you want to do by whiteboarding it. That's what I do with people.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times you need somebody else to look at the whiteboard or
Yeah.
to create the whiteboard.
Right.
So with like what I do with clients is I have them just talk and I create the whiteboard and I move stuff around as it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense and as they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we can see what goes together, what doesn't, based on how they're talking.
Right.
So that way they can use their brain to simply tell me what their thoughts are and not on the organizational part.
Mm-hmm.
And I use my brain to listen and organize.
Which
That's
is
why
really, yeah.
it helps to have two people.
Which is so badass because let me ask you this question, Maggie. Is it easier to help somebody else organize their business from a third person perspective versus first person perspective in your own business? Or do you have that like really similar like keen ability in your own business how to organize it?
In my own business, the way that I do it and the way that people can do it for themselves
Mhm.
is I do that first section where you're just thinking about what all you like to do. I
Mhm.
write it all down on paper.
Okay.
And then I come back to do the whiteboarding section
Mhm.
and I read off the piece of paper to myself and then I do the whiteboarding exercise as if somebody was telling it to me.
Okay.
So that's how I do it. I find it's easiest
Mhm.
when it's two people involved.
That makes sense.
So it's still easier, but yet I want to be the one who whiteboards it out.
Mhm.
So for me, I have to do both sides, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no one else to whiteboard for me.
Right.
But if you are doing it yourself, that's how you do it. You write it all down on a piece of paper and then give yourself space. Do not do it the same day. Then the next day, come
Ooh.
back to it. Because if you do it the same day, your head is still in that first step mode
Mhm.
and whiteboarding won't work.
That makes sense.
So you got to give it a day and then come at it from that other energy, that whiteboarding energy.
I love that. I
And then
won't
your
forget.
brain will be functioning differently.
That makes sense. That's a really fucking great piece of advice. I won't forget when you laid out your vision for BU, and I was so fucking excited. Okay, let's segue into the second part, unless you have other things to say about this.
No, I normally only have things to say when I'm asked.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm pretty silent.
Okay. Well, let me ask you another question. Why the fuck did you decide to partner with a child who is newly out of diapers and just learned how to walk for the
Oh,
business The
yeah.
Unemployable?
So there's a bigger vision for BU. It's not just this podcast. And some people know
Oh,
that, some
really? I
people don't.
thought we were just here for fun. Like we just were
You're like,
chatting and stuff.
oh shit.
You're
I
like,
didn't know.
is there really work involved? Fuck this, I'm out.
You're like, you're like, did you not know? Millennials are lazy.
Oh my gosh, we
Just
all I
ask
want
the
to do
boomers.
all I want to do is sit here and collect my checks. That's
All
why
all I
I
want to do is eat avocado toast and
yeah.
pay my overpriced rent. Like, what are you talking about?
That's all I want to do. Like I'm just
That's
sitting
it.
here just
That's it.
chilling. Okay, anyway.
So,
Um
so if you're just tuning in, or if we haven't laid it out for you previously, which I don't believe we really have, we've
No,
mentioned
because
it.
we have ADHD, so we just go right to the things that we want to talk about and we forget about what the very obvious thing is.
We're like, oh my
So,
god, you guys,
what?
let's talk about business.
Yeah.
Um, so Be Unemployable eventually will be sooner rather than later. Actually, now that we're in season 3, it will be more of an incubator style and an educational based experience for people, for entrepreneurs with HD who are high who are high def, no, who have a ADHD. So, or any kind of, like, if they're neurodiverse in any kind of way, like they could, well, I shouldn't say any kind of way because I don't know how to deal with people with Tourette's, so I have no experience in that. But like autism, ADHD, like that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
that stuff that we understand and we know how to work with. So that's kind of where our expertise is. And it's going to be like an incubator and education platform. And this podcast is just the beginning of it. It's the free information that we want you guys to have. And we will always want you guys to have. Like, this isn't going anywhere as other tiers of education are introduced. And that was my plan. Like, I had the name, I knew what I wanted to do. And Jamie was a client. I mean, she still is a client, but she was a client, and she had a similar niche to me, except she wasn't doing business coaching. And she was, at the time, she was almost done with her master's in occupational therapy, and now she's since graduated. But at the time, she was almost done. And when I had talked about what I wanted to do, it actually started because she was talking about how she wanted to do a podcast. And we kind of came around to my Be Unemployable and how I was rebranding my podcast and all of that. And that's when it turned into, okay, well, here's what I want to do. Like, I want to rebrand my podcast. I already have somebody working at the time. I already had someone working on the new cover, and I wanted it to be, this tiered thing. And when I started talking to Jamie, it became, well, hey, like, you can come into this business, and instead of having it as part of my business, we'll create a totally separate entity. And the reason that I would go in that with someone who has so much less experience and is younger than me, to a noticeable amount, like not like 5 years or whatever, is because she has an educational background. And again, as you guys know, we don't push education. Like, I don't care, but she has an educational background working with people with ADHD and how to accommodate that I do not have. And it is extremely valuable. Even if it had been self-taught, that would have been fine for me too. The point is, she knows how to accommodate and work with people with ADHD in a way to make them functional, so that way they can get to a point where the business side can thrive. Whereas I only know the ways that have worked for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
So Jamie can reach and also lend credibility to the business in a way that I can't. She has a strength that I don't have. Her other strength has nothing to do with her education. It has to do with her personality. She is extremely good at building relationships, at audience building. She is way more likable than I am when it comes to being like out there and in front of people. I'm much more subdued and kind of dry. I'm really sarcastic. And she is too when it comes to sarcastic, but she has a much more bubbly energy about her. So she brings an energy that's totally different to the business, but it's still the brand's energy. It's still the right brand energy.
Mm-hmm.
So between those two things, it only made sense. So that's what you want to look for when you're looking for a partner for a business, is someone who fills in your weaknesses. My weaknesses, audience building. I suck at it. I'm good at serving an audience, but getting out there and being happy in front of them, oh God, no. Like, I'll get out there and be like, hey, everything sucks and here's why. Whereas Jamie will be like, everything sucks, but here's what's great. And she's dead serious. Like, and she's absolutely serious. And meanwhile, if I go out there and go, everything sucks, but here's what's great, people will be like, well, you're full of shit. And I'll be like, I
Right.
am full of shit. Thank you for
Yeah.
noticing.
Yeah.
I need to take a quick drink of water.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so, and when you add to that the level of credibility that some people do look for, credibility such as being an occupational therapist or, being a master of occupational therapy, which again doesn't matter to me, but some people look for that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side of that is the education that she actually received by attending those classes and getting that are things that I don't have in my brain. I don't know. I don't know how to overcome those challenges that I've never had, and Jamie does.
Mm-hmm.
So she brings a whole different level that I don't have. So, yeah, on paper, it looks confusing, but in practice, it makes total sense why I'd partner with someone like Jamie, because she is literally picking up slack from everything that I don't have and I don't want to learn.
Yeah. And I decided to partner with you because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm like, who wouldn't want to
she
partner with me? No, that's
she
not me.
she was like, "Hi, I'm Maggie. I make nearly $1 million a year, and I'm offering you almost 50% of the company. Would you like to be my partner?" And I'm just like, "Where do I sign?"
Well, that was my stipulation, is that I wanted to maintain majority ownership.
Yeah.
So that was my big stipulation, and I didn't care. It didn't need to be. I'm super fair. Like, I believe in being very, very fair. That's
Mhm.
part of a neurodivergent trait, is that
Mhm.
we're very fair people.
Yeah, we don't know how to manipulate because we don't know how to.
We don't
We,
recognize it.
I don't even recognize it. If someone can be, well, I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, keep talking.
But yeah, so because we are so fair, I was like, the only thing I'm requesting is that I maintain majority ownership, because the concept was mine.
Mhm.
A lot of the education stuff that we'll be doing is mine, but I I still wanted her involved because I think she brings lots to the table,
Yeah.
and I think she's very valuable. And I want to share that with her. And I also want to teach her along the way, which we're doing in her own business, but we're also doing it together. I want to teach her along the way how to build a big business. So
Mhm.
that's what this is all about.
Yeah. So Maggie's not actually crazy for bringing me on the team. It's so funny because we didn't talk about why you brought me into this until, I don't know, maybe a month ago.
Yeah, when you just, I think you might have been here. Were you here, or was it right
I
before you got here?
Yeah, I think it was when I was in Ohio. So
You
like
flat out
I
asked me. You're like,
yeah,
why
like
did you
why?
partner with me?
I'm like, why did you do this? And I finally told my husband, I'm just like, I'm like, Maggie finally told me why she brought me on. I'm like, because I didn't understand it. He's like, and my husband said this, he loves me. He's very smart. He's like, I honestly didn't know either. I was really happy for you, but I had no idea. Like, why would she bring you on for a business that has to do
So
with business
rude.
coaching? I'm just like,
So rude. So rude. Like, why would she bring you on? Because you have things I do not, and I have things you do not. And
yeah,
together,
yeah.
together it makes for a very successful. And then when you do things that I would do differently, I will tell you that, and then you can decide.
Mm-hmm.
But because I have majority ownership, if it's, we'll have a conversation. That's
Well,
why it was so important to me to have majority ownership in a business.
Well, yeah, but also you obviously are an incredible business owner. So going into it, I feel like you treat me as if I'm a 50-50 partner. I feel like you
I make
we
a
have
point to.
you
The
make
only
a point
reason that
to.
I the only reason that I wanted the majority ownership was in case something came up that I felt very strongly about.
Yeah.
But I talk to you about all the decisions that I'm
Mhm.
making, that I anything that is on the table that I'm not, like, I don't feel strongly about one way or the other.
Mhm.
I take your input and we decide together.
Yeah.
Like, I make a point to make it feel 50-50,
Mhm.
unless it's something I feel strongly about, and then in that case I make the decision.
But also, I'm not an idiot, so anything that you feel strongly about, I'm just like, great, we will do that or we won't do that. Like, it's not even a fucking
Right.
question. I won't forget when you're like, I want majority partnership so that I have control of the design. I'm like, you don't want me doing any of the fucking design. Like, here,
Yeah.
take it, please take it.
Yeah.
The fact that you are incredible at design, I'm just like, how fucking like you're really great at everything business. Let's just talk about that. You're
Thank you.
amazing you're amazing at copywriting, you're amazing at graphics, you're amazing at marketing. I mean, you were never on social media and you had nearly a 7-figure business. Like,
Yeah, I was really bad at social media at the beginning, and like I've gotten better, but I'm still
but
not
like you
great.
didn't need to be. You have nearly a 7-figure business
Yeah,
without it. So you're really, really great at anything. And I'm just kind of here. No, I'm just kidding. I do have strengths, but I was so excited when you wanted to partner with me. But it does, now that you explain it, it does make sense
yeah,
why.
it does. I wasn't like on a whim. Like, you know what? It would be more fun if I didn't have to do it alone.
You're like, I would love to sell this much of my business. No. And also another thing that I thought about after too is Vanessa Van Edwards talks about being charismatic as a matter of being warm and competent.
Yes.
And a lot of partnerships are shown in that way too, where one person may be more warm and person may be more competent. And together, they're like a very attractive duo. Whereas I think you and I,
Bingo.
boop,
You're more
um,
warm.
yeah,
I am not warm.
absolutely. You're competent.
I'm not a warm person. Like I am. I love people, but I don't come
Mhm.
across as warm.
First glance, no.
Yeah,
Although,
you have to know me and you have to be like on a call with me one on one, like just us talking
yeah,
for you to understand that I'm warm. But
yes.
like my public persona or like who I just am when I'm just talking like in a group, I don't
Mm-hmm.
come across as warm. I just
Your
don't.
your website is very approachable though. It's very, very approachable. I will say that.
That's good because that's what I wanted and that's who I am. Like if you
Right.
are talking to me one on one, there is no disconnect from my website to me.
Absolutely.
There's no disconnect. But like
Mm-hmm.
in a public facing, like if I was doing a webinar, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I don't come across as warm.
It
I
would be
come
more direct, like this
I come
is yeah.
across very direct, very like this is how we do it. This is why we do it. Do you have any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm focused on getting my point across. I'm not focused on creating a connection
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to teach.
Whereas you have worked really hard on becoming more warm. I think we've talked about that like
Yeah. Because I'm
you're
not I didn't used to pick up on clues. I used to be,
yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Whereas I've had to work on coming across as more competent because I realized that I was coming across as just like a friendly face, like a friend, where I'm just like, hey, bitch, like I'm an occupational therapist and I actually have a lot of great things to offer.
Right.
And
I'm actually quite intelligent.
I'm actually really good at what I
Right.
do. So
Right.
I'm actually going to charge you for this conversation. No, but
Right.
like I had
Actually,
to
this podcast just went behind a
um
paywall. Sorry.
for 14.99 you can get this episode. No, I'm just joking.
$15 an episode. We just priced ourselves out of the market. So, oh my gosh. But
And
yeah.
this is why you do market research because podcasts genuinely or generally are about $0.00, but we are now
Right.
15 and that's why no one's buying.
And
Anyway.
that's why we failed. Wah, wah. So sad. So yeah,
So,
that's really what it's about. And there's so much we could talk about so many different aspects when it comes to why partnerships work, why they don't. And a
mhm,
lot of it has to do with like the alpha beta dynamic versus alpha alpha. And
mhm,
Jamie and I are both alpha, but the difference is we're both respectful.
mhm,
So we can both be alpha together and have a healthy balance without it being like someone walking in and dominating everything all the time.
right.
Like if somebody steps on somebody's toes, we discuss it immediately.
Mhm.
As opposed to people as opposed to people, have you ever worked with one of those like alpha people who are just like, now this, now this, now this, now this, and
Yeah, that's why I just walked out of a few different jobs. It didn't go very well with me.
exactly.
I told them I was going to give them my 2 weeks, and then the next day I came in after hours and left all my shit and said, "Goodbye, I'm on a plane to Michigan."
Yeah,
It didn't work very well.
that's how it is. That's how it is. Like when an alpha and an alpha work together, if there isn't that middle ground of respect,
Yeah.
you can't work. You literally can't. So when I coached you, like at the very
Mhm.
beginning, and I saw that we could work together, that's another reason that I knew that we could work together in a partnership
Yeah.
because it's respectful. It's not like no, we're doing this and I don't give a shit. Like
Mhm.
I don't care what you say.
Did the fact that I followed through on my homework every single week help as well?
Yes, the fact that you do homework and that if something comes up, you notify.
Uh-huh.
Like those are all really important traits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's, don't ever underestimate like what don't rule people out. Now I will tell you, and I'm not fucking kidding. If you were an Aries, I wouldn't have gone into business with you. You would have been right out. You'd have been right out, man. I'm not going into I'm not going into business with that crazy ass fire sign. Like it's just not happening. Like
Every Aries that's listening to this is like, all right, unsubscribe.
right. Sorry. Sorry,
1-star
Aries.
review. This podcast sucks.
Maggie is an astrologist, or acist. I was trying to say racist, but with like not race, but like astrology sign. And I couldn't figure out what that word would be.
I'm trying to figure out what the word would be. Oh my gosh, my husband just showed me the funniest fucking video. It's from The Bachelor. And this guy, he was like, I'm an astro, or I'm like, what was it? It was like, it had to do with astrology and chemistry or something. Like astrophysiology. I don't know what the fuck it was. And then she was like, oh my god, I'm a Libra. It was the funniest shit. And he's like, oh, like I'm a whatever. Like, and then afterwards it shows his reaction just like off camera. He's like,
Yeah. Like absolutely
So
not. Oh
yeah,
my
like that
god.
that wasn't what we were talking about. So if you're an Aries, don't ask to be in a partnership
Maggie.
with Maggie.
Maggie doesn't let I like it's not that I don't like Aries as people, it's that I don't like them as people to work with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
As she says that, I'm not saying that the time that your mom got pregnant affects who you are. What I'm saying is I have found that people whose moms get pregnant around this time tend to not work well with me.
That's actually something I said once.
And I
So
quote.
so now she references it whenever I reference somebody's sign.
It's the funniest thing. I fucking die every time you say it.
And I'm not saying that people who are born like listen, Aries are a different breed of human. They're named after the god of war. Like
Mhm.
and they're like straight war signs. They're coming for you.
Whereas I'm just like a warm, welcoming Sagittarius. And that's a
And
sister sign to you?
that's a sister sign to me and my husband is also a Sagittarius.
So obviously the reason that we work so well together is our astrological signs. Like I don't
Clearly,
think
it's the only
it's
reason.
it's not our personality, it's not the
No.
education experience, the fact
No,
that we've
it's
gone
not
through a lot of
that.
trauma and like
No.
overcame it. It's obviously our
It's
astrology.
when our moms got pregnant.
It's when our moms got pregnant. Yeah.
Obviously.
So make all of your decisions based off of that. You definitely get your chart read
This
depending
this
on when
is
you were
definitely
born.
business advice that
This
we're
yes.
seriously giving to you
Like
right now, and
yeah.
you should take it to heart. You should
You should
take it to
take
heart.
yeah.
So get your
And if
chart read, and if you're an
get
Aries, you should probably not be my friend
yeah, just
or
don't be her
business acquaintance.
and if your astrological chart doesn't tell you what you need to know, then go to a psychic. Anyone will do. Like go get your palm read tarot cards. Like
You should
that's where you make your big decisions.
I have a set of tarot cards. I have 2 sets. One is pink. One,
Will
I don't
you
know. I got them from Amazon.
will you do a tarot card reading for me next time? Next
Oh, yes, I'll
podcast?
do it live.
Yeah, do a
Yeah.
tarot card
Do I
reading.
have? I think I have a set next to my bed. And my other set though actually has a crystal on top, and it's sitting out on the altar.
Okay. Well, we'll just leave everyone in suspense. Next time that
I'll
can we
do a
start our
tarot card.
intro? Can we start our intro with that with the tarot card reading?
Yes, next time we'll do it during the intro. We'll do it. We'll do a tarot card reading during the intro because I'm a witchy Gemini.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
you know? Didn't you know?
Didn't you know? No, Maggie and I are both a little woo, but
We're a
we've
little
both
woo.
we're a little woo. Like
Like not like super woo.
not super woo. Like we don't actually make our business decisions based off of our like I don't know
Unless
getting
you're an
our chart read.
Aries.
Unless you're an Aries, then we're not gonna you're
Then
not
we're
gonna
both
be
gonna be horrified. I'm not
we're
gonna lie. Runner up equal is Capricorn. Those two were like,
when are
that's cute.
Capricorns born?
December/January.
Oh, so I just missed it.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Thank God that my mom got pregnant when she did.
Well, if you were Capricorn, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Right. Obviously. Like
I have nothing to say to you when you're a Capricorn. If you're a Capricorn, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. That's a
you're like,
shame.
I just forgot that we're not friends. Like,
Like, oh, that's right, you're a Capricorn, so I guess I have to go, and then we should delete
right,
this episode and
right,
never talk again.
right. So my husband's a Virgo. Normally Virgos are kind of like assholes.
No, Virgos are great. I love Virgos.
You do?
I love Virgos. I am a Virgo
Okay.
rising, and I love Virgos. I
Okay.
think they're great. They're really
Okay.
particular.
So particular.
Yeah,
Like so particular.
I think
Yeah.
Virgos are great.
Okay.
I love them. But every person has a different sign that they like. I mean, not every person. Obviously, my husband doesn't like any signs. He thinks the whole thing is stupid. But
Uh-huh.
I love Virgos. They're very particular. They're very orderly. They're very anal retentive. I
Could
love
not be more
them.
opposite to me. Could not be
Yes.
more opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
I love
yeah.
Virgos.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
He's great.
Yeah. I
Most of the
love
time.
Virgos.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with Virgo.
So my mother-in-law was born on January 2nd, so she's a
Oh my
Capricorn.
God, she's a Capricorn.
She's a Capricorn.
Yeah.
So what are Capricorn traits? I'll tell you if it's accurate or not. She'll probably never listen to this.
Oh, I honestly don't know. My mom's a Capricorn and I hate my mom, so I just assume all Capricorns are just as bad.
Well, now I have to know. Does it still show my face?
Yes, but Capricorns, I believe they're gonna be kind of controlling. They're kind of
Ambitious,
know-it-all.
hardworking, and enterprising. Extremely driven, enthusiastic about life, and capable of subtly lofty but attainable objectives. That doesn't make any sense to me.
That's not my mom.
Doesn't make sense.
Here,
No. Obviously, this is wrong.
Capricorn traits.
Workaholic, persistent,
No.
pessimistic,
Yeah, that's my mom.
disciplined, dry.
Cynical, selfish, manipulative, egotistical, plotting, pessimistic, cautious, cheap, melancholy, rarely satisfied. That's my mother to a T.
Ah,
There you go.
there it is. No, she's actually a very nice lady, but she's also anal retentive, like way more than my husband is. Like,
Workaholic, demanding, stuffy, cold, stern, suspicious, resentful, and stubborn. There you go.
okay, well now we know. Now we know.
That's a Capricorn for you.
All of them. Blanket statement.
Blanket statement. I only really know the one, and she's terrible, so I assume they're all
So
like that.
obviously they're all bad.
That's clearly how it works.
Yeah, so if you find one piece of evidence, like
But
obviously
it's a blanket statement.
just like, vaccines caused autism. Did you know that? Did your mom vax you? Is that why you're autistic?
Probably.
My mom vaxxed me. That's probably how I turned out to be
Yeah,
very
I'm
neurodivergent too.
vaxxed, so that's probably why.
That probably happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. It's one piece of evidence.
Yeah,
Solves
so
it.
that must be it. Gosh.
So we no
Wow.
longer believe in the scientific method on this podcast.
No.
You could tell
It's
because we don't do business with Aries. So
And
that's fine.
yeah, and that's fine. Oh, did you also know that the world is only like 2022 years old?
Okay,
Because
we could. Okay, we've gone too far. We've gone too far. Like, just it's too far. I can't. I can't keep going with this. It's too much. It's too much. It's too
I
much.
have a
Too much
I
fake
have a
news.
I know. I have a lot or I have some Christian friends and I think they kind of know where I stand and they always just kind of like try to subtly convert me. I'm just like, "Oh, that was a good try. That was a
You're
good
like,
one."
oh, it's so
Oh.
close. It's so far.
You almost got me on that one.
Oh, like I can't. I can't. Like I was trying so hard. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play this straight. And then you're like, did you know the world is only 2022 years old? I was like, oh,
You're like, that's where we stop. Right
I was
there.
like, my brain just explode. I got to go. Oh, I can only go so far, and then
I
I
can only go
die.
so far. I haven't done an ad yet for you. Are you ready for this?
Oh my
I want to
gosh.
I want to end every single podcast with an ad for you.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Hi, are you a woman?
Hi, sexy voice. All right.
Snort no. Okay. I'm gonna refocus.
Well, that sells it.
I can't even do. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard, and if I laugh, I'm just gonna laugh through it because
Okay, here we go.
this is your one. Like you only get one free ad per episode. Okay.
One free ad. Next
So
one. Next one we pay for
next one you pay
with
for.
our
Okay.
soul.
um. Are you a woman with ADHD that has 17,000 business ideas? Have you written them all out on paper or they're all just spinning around your head and you have no idea what the fuck to do? Are you way more concerned about your hashtags than actually launching your program? Then you need Maggie Isley. Maggie Isley, who is a nearly 7-figure business owner who can help you turn all of your thoughts into money. Just like that. Every time you're around her, she can sneeze on you and then you gain $10,000 to
Ka-ching,
contact.
ka-ching,
Ka-ching, ka-ching,
ka-ching.
ka-ching. If you want to earn your dollars by your business and not by dancing on the pole, which is pretty much what us millennials are forced to do because of the rate of rising inflation, then call Maggie or actually chat with Maggie at
Chat with Maggie.
chatwithmaggie.com. That's chatwithmaggie.com. Or if you just want to stalk her like a weirdo, go to maggieIsley.com to look at her website, MAGGIEISLEY.com. Woo!
Stalk me like a weirdo. Eh, eh. That's the song. That's
That's
it.
the song.
That's the
That's the
song.
song. That's the song.
Also, the planet is only 2,000 years old. Woo! Oh my god. All
And
right.
if you want to talk to me, you can't because I'm not taking on more clients. But you're
Yeah.
welcome to come to my Facebook page or be in my body doubles, which is accountability to get shit done.
Yeah, but Jamie's not taking clients right now, so you snoozed, you lost. So
Snooze, you lost. If you got in back in April, then cool, I'm gonna keep you. But otherwise, I'm not taking on more clients. I will drop a
you can
change
body
readiness.
double.
I'll drop the body double. I'll also drop the change readiness form in the bio so that when I am taking clients that I can look over your information. We can schedule a consultation because I'll schedule a consultation now so that I can get you on the list, but not currently taking clients.
And by now, she means sometime in August because she's moving.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 All right.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.